Hi, Liz.
Hi, Charlotte.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for meeting me this week.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I know that you're very busy, so I'm fortunate that you're able to make time.
We're here.
Yes. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something you had brought up in our session last week.
Okay.
You had mentioned that you had this overwhelming fear of dogs.
Yes.
So I wanted to try and dig a little deeper in that and see where the fear came from and what, if at all, you've been trying to do to overcome that, and if there's any sort of motivation behind wanting to overcome that at all.
Okay. All right. So basically, I'll tell you a little background information.
Right.
When I was little, maybe like 5 or 6 years old, I was playing at my neighbor's house, and we didn't have a dog. We didn't have a family dog at this time. I was playing at my neighbor's house, and they had a bigger dog. I forget what type of dog it was, but it was a big dog. It wasn't one of those little play dogs. And it came over, and I was playing with it, and then it bit me. And nobody was there. Nobody was there to see it aside from my friends or whatever, so I went home screaming, whatnot. And pretty much since then, I do not go near dogs. I don't have anything to do with dogs, especially, like, bigger dogs.
Right.
Okay. So right now I'm having this issue because I started dating this guy who I really, really like, and I've been spending more time with him, but he has this dog.
Okay.
And it's a German Shepherd.
Okay.
It is
a big dog.
It is a big dog. It is not a small dog.
Right.
So I really like him, and it's kind of hard to, see him and be over at his place with this dog. I've been avoiding going over there.
Yeah.
We've been either just not going there or coming to my apartment, just avoiding this whole situation.
And okay.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I really like him. I kind of really want to get over this fear, but I have no idea how to do this. It's just a very terrorizing topic to me.
I understand. And have you talked to your boyfriend about these fears that you have? Does he know?
Not really. I think he probably wonders why I avoid, going to his apartment, but I haven't really vocalized this issue.
Okay. So how do you feel about having a conversation about kind of overcoming these fears? Slowly but surely, it's not going to be an overnight success. But is that something that you feel you are motivated to do at this time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would really like to be able to, eventually, go to his apartment and be comfortable with the dog. Maybe not, have the dog be all over me, but at least be comfortable in its, presence.
Great.
At the very least.
Okay. So there's a really helpful technique that I use quite a bit with my clients that have certain phobias. And it's, pretty applicable to any type of phobia. Okay. And it is called systematic desensitization.
Okay.
I know, it kind of sounds a little bit daunting, but there's a really great technique within that called the fear hierarchy. And essentially what it does is we will be creating a list together where each activity on the list is something that you will do to help you get over this fear. Okay. So essentially, number 1 would be the least aversive activity you could do to get yourself a little bit more familiar with the dog, whereas number 10 could be anywhere from petting a dog to walking a dog to being alone in a room with a dog, something that at this time you can't really see yourself doing.
Right.
But over time, you will conquer this list and get to where you want to be with your most aversive activity on the hierarchy.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good. We're going to have to start really small.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, great. So I wanted to make a list with you today, if that's okay.
Okay.
Great. So talk to me about, if at any, the kind of exposure you have with dogs at this time. Do you avoid them completely? What does that look like for you?
So, living here in New York City, there's a lot of dogs outside, so it's kind of, hard to avoid dogs outside. So I'd say, that's the most interaction I get with a dog is being on the sidewalk. Okay. I definitely avoid them, if possible, walking as far away as possible from them, if not crossing the street, if there's no dogs on that side of the street.
Okay.
So that's pretty much my interaction.
Okay.
At the most.
So in your mind, what do you think would be the first step to getting you feeling comfortable and accepting of dogs? Is it maybe something like watching a movie or, reading an article about the biology of a dog and why it behaves the way it does so you can understand a little bit better behind maybe...
I think that might be a good idea. I'm
Okay.
much more of I like research and like stuff like that, so I feel like maybe reading and like understanding more about
Sure.
them in general.
Okay. So you think
would
that...
be something helpful.
So reading an article. Maybe specifically about German Shepherds, so you can understand that dog specifically, and which kind of is the most scary as well.
Yeah.
So
if it's definitely not a small dog.
If you're accepting of German Shepherds, then you'd probably be accepting of other dogs as well.
Yeah.
Great. So I think number one I think that's a really great one, is reading up on it, educating yourself on it, and from there, where do you see yourself going?
So just reading about it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like seeing like a good experience with like a dog. Maybe I think there's like this movie out right now called like A Dog's Life Purpose or something.
Ooh,
I have no desire to watch because it's about dogs.
Right.
But like if it's like
it's a very
happy dog movie, then like maybe that's like a good experience like to put in my head maybe.
That's a great idea. So let's be specific. So let's have you watch A Dog's Purpose.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called. And that's a really great step for number 2. That'll kind of get you a little bit more involved in the emotional aspect of dogs and having a dog and kind of what an owner goes through with their relationship with their dog.
Right.
So that could hopefully be a little insightful for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from there, what do you think is another good step to gaining that exposure?
Sounds like I'm running out of ideas of what to do without dogs right in front of me.
Right. Right. So I think, maybe another really helpful thing would be to maybe watch a video. So you're going to watch a video about dogs that are, it's upbeat and it's happy and empowering and loving. So maybe, testing the waters with watching a dog bark aggressively on video, whereas you're far away, it's not going to get you, but you kind of get familiar with the sound of barking, so you don't get so afraid.
Okay.
Do you think that makes sense? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it kind of gives me both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
Happy and then not so happy.
So do you feel like...
to be comfortable with that?
Right, exactly. So do you feel like you would be comfortable doing something like that?
I could try it.
Okay, great. So number 3 will be watching a video of a dog barking.
Okay.
So let's then jump ahead a little bit. Let's think about what you want number 10 to be. I know that we're kind of...
Okay. Ultimately, I would like to, spend time at my boyfriend's apartment, if you think about it logically to make it seem as normal as possible, maybe sitting on the couch, and the dog also on the couch.
Right. And there may be instances where your boyfriend steps out of the apartment.
Right.
And you want to feel comfortable being alone with the dog.
Yeah.
So maybe number 10 could be being alone with the dog. For in a room alone with the dog.
Right.
For however long you feel comfortable.
Right.
We could do 3 minutes. We could do 5 minutes. We could do 10 minutes. Whatever you want your long-term goal to be for your hierarchy.
Right.
So what do you think would make the most sense for you?
If if I'm going to spend time with the dog, it's probably going to be, a longer period of time. It's not going to be 3 minutes probably. So maybe let's do 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 or 15 minutes.
Perfect.
It kind of just makes logically the most sense.
I absolutely agree. Okay, so let's now jump to number 5.
Okay.
So being in the middle, smack in the middle of the list, what do you want that accomplishment to look like for you? What kind of activity would kind of get you over the hump of being near a dog, potentially touching a dog?
I feel like I would need to be in the presence of a dog, but maybe not close to it.
So maybe a dog that's on a leash.
Yeah.
That way...
Maybe a smaller dog on a leash to start out with.
Yeah, so do you want to try petting them or feeding them? What do you suggest?
Probably just petting to start at that point.
Okay. So petting a dog on a leash?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And number 4.
Yes.
I know it's a little bit disorganized, but I just
So
kind
what
of
were our
want to
first
get...
few?
So the first one was reading an article about a German Shepherd.
Okay.
The second one was watching a Dog's Purpose movie.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 is watching a video of a dog barking aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
So what is number 4?
What was number 4? So number 5 is petting a dog.
Number 5 is petting a dog on a leash.
Okay. So maybe, like right down the street for me is a dog park, but it's like a fenced-in dog park.
Great.
So maybe just, maybe not like a super busy time of day where there's a lot of dogs there, but maybe going down during a time where there's few dogs and maybe just from afar, like behind the fence.
That's a great
just watching.
Sure.
What's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you suggest being outside the fence of a dog park as your number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. That
And
allows
we progress
you...
to 5 being the dog in my presence. Just
Mhm.
a dog on a leash.
Great. Wonderful. Okay, so number 6. So we're over the hump. You've touched a dog.
I have touched the dog.
So you've touched a dog. What do you want your next accomplishment to be?
My next accomplishment to be if I touch the dog. I did pet a dog, right?
Right.
Touch
So
the dog.
you touched it. You pet it.
All right. Maybe like I. Maybe I feed it. Is feed it more complicated than petting it?
Feeding is a great one.
Because I feel like that's like almost
Yeah.
like biting me.
Right. It's
Essentially.
getting its teeth are getting close to your hand.
Yeah.
It's kind of, bringing back maybe some of those fears and
Yeah.
experiences you've had in the past. But I think that would be a really great way to get over that. So I think number 7 could absolutely be, number 6 could be feeding a dog on a leash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe after that one, after I feed a dog on a leash, maybe I need to move up to like a little bit bigger of a dog.
Okay.
So maybe like petting a little bit bigger of a dog.
Okay. So pet a large dog. Great. All right. We're almost there. Number 8.
Number 8. So
Mhm.
I pet a large dog. Would be really nice actually. It would be to maybe like play fetch with a dog. Before, does that
Great.
make sense?
I love that. Yeah. So playing fetch with the dog. So they'll be off the leash, but you'll, be channeling their more playful side. They'd
Right.
be much less likely to bite you if
Okay.
they know that you are playing with them.
Okay. And then we just need one more.
One more.
So this is before being alone. So if I'm going to be alone in a room with a dog, I need to be alone in a room with someone else
Yes.
before I'm up there
Right.
by myself. So I feel like that
Absolutely.
would be a good number 10.
So, okay.
Number
so
9.
Number 9 will be in a room with a dog with someone else. Your boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
For 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay, so how are you feeling right now about attempting all of these?
I feel open to it.
Okay, that's great.
It's nerve-wracking, but I feel open to it.
I understand. Yeah, well, I think this is the first step to you really addressing your fears. And, we'll be working together and we'll be meeting every week. And if you'd like, you can accomplish one of these a week and we can touch base at the end of it and see how it went, how you felt. I think that doing it that way, it will be, like a smooth transition into each activity.
Okay. I trust you.
Okay, great. And so for your homework this week, I want you to think about, or even attempt, to how to begin reading up on German Shepherds without feeling nervous, anxious, just feeling calm,
Okay.
relaxing yourself, but, beginning the openness of learning more about dogs. So
Okay.
you don't have to come up with that right now. You could think about it and we can touch base next week.
Okay.
Okay, so are you excited? Are you ready?
I mean, in a way.
Okay,
In a way.
that's great.
Yes.
Well, you did a really great job today.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
proud
you
of
for helping with us.
Of
I think it'll be good.
course. I look forward to meeting with you next week to hear about your first endeavor.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.